Next up is the Juggernaut method by Chad Wesley Smith. The first pro of this is that there is a whole lot of volume. Chad Wesley Smith has said before that he really dislikes Mark Rippetoe and thinks he is full of BS. Because Mark Rippetoe suggests 3 sets of 5 for beginners with relatively heavy weight. Chad Wesley Smith is one of those guys that thinks a beginner needs a lot more volume. I'm not here to argue either one of those. But I've noticed, again, that some people respond better to one or the other, low reps, high reps. So it's got a lot of volume, which the reason that's good is because it allows a beginner to get a lot of practice. For something like starting strength or even the Texas method, you're deadlifting once a week for 1 set of 5 reps. That's it. With the Juggernaut method, you're doing 5 sets of 10 on the deadlifts, and that last set is a max rep set. So the Juggernaut method is actually an extension from 5-3-1. Very similar, but the reps are a lot higher. Chad Wesley Smith said that he was inspired by Jim Weller's 5-3-1, but he thought that it lacked volume. So his is like 5-3-1 on steroids for volume. Again, higher volume and lighter weight for a beginner is great because they can fight against fatigue and not always fight against weight. Some guys will do a set of 5 with 200 pounds and barely get it. And then they're left thinking, okay, so I'm supposed to do 205 in 2 days and then 210 in 2 more days. So they're always fighting against that very maximum. But with Juggernaut method, the weight is manageable. You're just fighting against fatigue. Another pro for the Juggernaut method is similar to 5-3-1 in that it's rep oriented. So you're setting repetition goals, not always weight goals. And lastly, for the pros of Juggernaut method, it keeps you well under your max for 4 months. The program lasts 4 months. And like I said, if you're always operating at your max, I see a lot of guys doing starting strength or strong lifts, and they barely get their 3 sets of 5 or 5 sets of 5, and then the next training session they might barely get it again, and then they're just stuck failing. So they're always operating at their max. And it can be really discouraging to go into the gym and continuously fail. That doesn't make you feel good when you're constantly failing weight. You feel weak, you feel defeated. So keeping you well under your max can boost your confidence. Oh man, is this your video or mine? A con, again, is one of the pros. It's got a lot of volume. So if you're on the Mark Rippetoe side of things, this program sucks. It's a whole lot of volume, it's a whole lot of light weight. You need heavy rep, you need to do your 5s and get your hip drive. Another con with Juggernaut method is that you need to have your 1 rep max established. You can't just walk into the gym and say, okay, today I'm doing 5 sets of 10 with 65% of my 1 rep max. Well, what the hell is your 1 rep max? I don't know. So there is some experience needed. Next program we're going to talk about is SuperSquats, the 20 rep squat routine. This is the hardest program I have ever done in my entire life. Every time I think about it, oh, I want to puke. Every single time I walked into the gym, I would get butterflies and I would feel like I was going to puke. It is so hard. But that's what's great about it. It will get you very, very strong if you're doing everything outside of the gym that you're supposed to be doing. All of this volume, these 20 rep squats, this full body workout that you're doing 3 times a week, along with eating a whole bunch of food and doing the program like it was intended. So you're doing a weight that is very, very challenging. You're not skating by with the easy 20 reps on the squat. And you're doing the program, you're doing the squats like it says in the book, deep breathing squats, breathing big breaths, 3 to 5 breaths in between each rep. This time under tension for 20 reps, sometimes these sets last for 3 minutes. You will definitely gain weight. Another reason SuperSquats is so great is because you will really surprise yourself with the progress you've made. You will do things that you never thought possible, and I really mean that. You're going to do your first set of 20 reps, and you're going to think to yourself, how the hell am I going to do that again in 2 days with 5 pounds more? So you squat 20 reps 3 times a week, you add 5 pounds each session, and you do it for 6 weeks, putting a 90-pound increase on your 20 rep squat max. If you can squat a weight for 12 reps, if you can squat a weight for 10 reps, you can squat it for 12 reps. You can squat it for 12 reps, you can squat it for 15 reps. If you're able to squat a weight for 15, you can do 20. So you're going to be fighting against your mind and against the fatigue in your entire body. You're going to want nothing more than to rack that bar. Your legs are going to be shaking. You're going to be breathing so hard that your lungs start to burn. Your whole body is going to be quaking. You're just going to want to put that bar on the rack. So you're fighting fatigue and you're fighting your mind. So if you can push past that, you'll really prove a lot to yourself. Lifting your maximum weight for 5 reps sometimes can be black and white. I can do 225 for a set of 5. Maybe 230. I can't do 235 right now. I can't do 240. But with super squats, again, you're not always fighting the weight, you're fighting your mind. And because this program is so damn hard, every program after this program that you do is going to feel easy. I think every person should try super squats for 6 weeks, one time in their life, at least once. That's also a con about super squats. It is really fucking hard. You're going to dread going to the gym. It's not going to be fun. You're going to be happy for about 5 minutes while you're laying on the ground because you just finished that one set of 20 and it's over with. But then reality is going to slap you in the face and you're going to realize, shit, I have to do that again in 2 days. And lastly, the reason super squats might not be for you is because it's not intended for a 1 rep max. If you're training for a powerlifting meet, you really don't have any business doing 20 rep squats. Super squats will get you better at doing 20 rep squats, but it doesn't necessarily have a direct impact on your 1 rep max. So if you increase your squat from 135 pounds for 20 reps to 225 for 20 reps, and you think, man, I can do 225 for 20, I could probably squat 405. It doesn't really equate to that.